All right.
Yeah. Hey Tim, it's me, Chanel, and today I'm going to help you out with the hip problems. Now I'm going to do all this in one take, so you're going to see me like move my head around, seeing people. You might see people walk by, and you might see me stuff up. So this is unscripted. This is all just coming in one take. So you said that your problem, or the area that's giving you the most grief, is around the right side of the hip there. Now, first options first. If it's a bone thing, if it's a nerve thing, disregard this, go see a specialist like that. If it's something that you can treat with just gentle mobility, I'm your guy. I'll be happy to help out. And I'll go through some of the poses that I go through in my class. I tell them that these poses work. I've had people come by and they say, hey Chanel, you were right, these poses do work. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. Now, in all my classes, I love to practice with this particular pose, the triangle pose. You'll see it in a lot of yoga settings and everything. It's my go-to movement. It is my opening movement. So, to do the triangle pose, standing nice and tall, so feet nice and parallel, feet hip width apart, just so you're able to support the weight. Knees stacked over the feet, hips stacked over the hips, hips stacked over the knees, sorry, my bad. The lower belly draws itself in. The sternum is lifting, so you're not lifting up like this, you're not lifting the diaphragm as such, you're mainly lengthening through the sides of the body. So try to float your ribs away from the hips, and then chin slightly tucked in, back of the neck long, shoulder blades tucked in. In the yoga poses, whether we're sitting, whether we're standing, we focus on maintaining this length in the spine. Also when we're laying down, it's all about that nice alignment of the spine. Now, from here, take a breath in, exhale, step that right leg back. So I'll be going through that right side of the body for you. Left foot forward, right foot out at 90 degrees, hips are nice and square, facing the wall directly in front of you. The lower belly is drawn in, sternum up, front to back stroke, just like before. Inhale, bring the arms up, level with the shoulders, looking past the tip of your left longest finger. Exhale, reaching forward, pushing that right hip back, and then coming down. And this is your triangle pose. Now, what's happening here, that left hip is opening up, deep stretch, running down from the right pinky, the right forearm, the right arm, armpit, side of the ribs, side of the belly here, running down the whole outer edge of the leg. Now, as that left hand is sliding down, ideally you want to be here, but you could be holding on to your ankles, holding on to your shins, holding on to your thighs, wherever it feels comfortable. Slowly, slowly, you'll be able to bring yourself down. The trick to it is take it breath by breath, millimeter by millimeter, so you're not just actively going, it's just slowly sliding down. But the little kicker is, as the left hand is sliding down, right hand reaching up towards the ceiling as well. So it's like you're pulling a piece of paper and you're pulling it out at all angles. The paper becomes taut, the body becomes taut, you're lengthening and you're strengthening. And that's one of the main focuses in the mobility drills I like to give to my class and I like to give to you. You're lengthening in certain areas, you're strengthening in certain areas, maybe at the same time, maybe separately. This is a good example of working at the same time, opening out that left hip, getting that nice deep stretch to the right side of the body, pulling up. So that's the triangle pose here. And just to come out of it, looking down at the floor, inhale, coming back up to center, exhale, take a big step forward. Let's give your legs a bit of a shake. And once you come out of the pose, what you'll find is that left hip starts to open up, that right side of the body lengthens, becomes warm. You get length in the sides of the body. And you might feel a bit of opening around the chest and the shoulders as well. Do that both sides. Now, in the class, I usually say just hold for about 5 to 6 breaths, but for you, you can practice this at your own time. Hold for as long as you like until it feels comfortable, until you feel like it's working. So that's the triangle pose. Because what I found, in regards to back pain, hip pain, the common thing that most people do is they lean forward or they lean backwards, forward bends, bridges, etc., etc. A lot of people tend to forget the lateral movement, so working sideways, bringing length between the space in the ribs and the hips. And I found that once you're able to target that space, especially when you do a fair bit of sitting, fair bit of driving, that part of the body switches off. It's important to switch it back on with these movements. So that's my recommendation. That being said, I had another pose as well. In regards to the squats, actually, now I remembered. One of my teachers told me that one of the best ways to keep your hips, your spine nice and healthy, I mean, yeah, you've got the lateral movements, but it's a combination of the deep squats and the lunges. So I'll be going through my deep squats, and I'll be going through my the lunges that I like to teach. So going with the squat, standing nice and tall. This time, feet are out just past your hips, and you turn the feet out 45 degrees just to get that nice external rotation of the hips there. Knees over the feet, hips over the knees. Lower belly drawn in, sternum up, front thigh to back throat. Inhale, bring the arms up, body nice and long. And then exhale, coming down as vertically as you can. Coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. And you're going to be here. Try to keep your spine as nice and as long as you can. So as you'll notice this, you'll definitely notice this. People who have the valgus knees when they're rolling in this one, you get the same thing as well. So, sorry, let me just move it a little bit forward. Hopefully you can see me. They get this, they get their back rounded, and it's very hard to breathe. So what I do, hands together, elbows inside the knees. I'm going to bring my hands up, press my knees out, roll the shoulder blades in, lift the chest, lengthening my spine. It's very strong in the inner thighs, in the groin, but I'm able to maintain length in the side of the body, just like the triangle pose, and I'm able to breathe into the whole body. So, and what I find is that once you're able to be comfortable in this bodyweight squat, you're able to release a lot of pressure from sitting down, from lifting your heavy weights, those deep squats where you go partial depth, and you have that big activation in the lower back here. You're able to soften and relax and just stay here for a while. Just be easy. If you have to come back up, that's fine. Inhale, come back down. Walk it out. It's important. You're not just staying there for all that time. You're able to walk it out. You're able to shake it out. So that's the squats. Now, the lunges is another little thing that I like to play with. Again, as I said, squats, lunges, it's also important to move the hips and the spine around in different directions. So you're moving forwards, you're moving backwards, you're moving side to side. Let's not forget our twists as well. So with the lunges, I like to give a nice rotation. So you can do this on the floor. So my left knee is on the floor, right leg forward. Hips are nice and square, so my knees aren't rolling in, they're not rolling out. Feet nice and parallel, and the knee is behind the big toe. Not leaning forward, not leaning too far back. So I'll go this way. Actually, wait. I'll go this way. Right hand on the right knee, lower belly drawn in, sternum up, front thigh to back throat. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, turn your body to the right, left elbow over the right, left hand facing up, right hand over the right, right elbow pointing up to the sky. And the action is you're pressing down into the left elbow and lifting that left side of the body up. And this is the pose I like to start people off with. If they're comfortable, see my back leg, my left leg. I can tuck my left foot under, breathe in, breathe out. Coming up into this pose here. So we're combining the hip rotation with a deep squat, and I'm telling you from the get-go now, it is quite ridiculous. Work yourself up to it. It's quite strong around the hips and the lower back. And again, same as before, play with it a little bit. Again, you don't have to do that big movement. You can stay on the knees and just slowly work, because what I encourage that people to work on is during the twists, we inhale to elongate the spine, and then we exhale to rotate through the hips. And we keep the whole body active. So sometimes you might find in rotational movements, people will switch their body off like this. That's why they get that tightness, that pain, particularly around the sides here. So it's important to lengthen rotate, lengthen, rotate. There are some instances where you don't have to rotate as much, but that's because the spine is already long. In fact, I think we'll actually explore that. So, what I mean is that with your feet nice and feet hip width, 1.5 shoulder widths apart, feet nice and flat, hands on the floor here. If you can't reach the floor, use a block or some sort of object just to rest your hands on. Now, left hand in the center. Inhale, turn your body out to the right arm up to the sky. And it's not about the right shoulder rolling back like that. Try to roll that left hip forward, roll the left hip in, and you get that nice deep twist through the hips. And again, you can change sides. Mind you, you inhale and exhale to release the poses. So that's 3 poses already. So that's the triangle pose. So we've done the triangle pose at the start, the deep squats, the lunges, and that wide-legged forward bend with the hip twist. Now they are pretty strong movements. They encourage the use of the body. So you use that internal body resistance, and once you feel comfortable, that's when you can play with the external resistance, like pushing the weights, doing the squats, doing the deadlifts. So that's my recommendation after saying that on your Insta. That being said, you want to be able to balance it out with some soft poses. So you've got your bridge, as you know. You know this one, nice and easy. Just working on pressing through the legs, lifting and squeezing the glutes, squeezing the lower back, working on lengthening the belly. And if you have your shoulder blades tucked in, you're able to slightly open the chest. And that's fine. You can also play with the single leg variation and work on that lower back strength there. Now, the other one that I was going to show you, if you remember, it was from first year. I forgot the guy's name, but he showed us this nice exercise, and I've been doing this ever since. It's been very good to develop the core strength of my belly and my lower back, and I'm working on twisting my spine around. That sounds really bad, but like that mobility, it helped my mobility. Laying down nice and flat, arms just behind the, underneath the shoulders. And I'll give you the easy variation, just lifting the knees up, and you're just slowly going up and around, up and around. Notice how my lower back, my tailbone, that area is coming off the floor, and I'm going around. Okay? Going around. Other way. Other way. And it got to the point where I'm able to straighten my legs out, my hands flat. I'm able to go up, around. And I'm telling you that that particular movement for me has been very beneficial for my core development and my lower back pain management. And the last little thing I want to show you, easy as pie, laying down on the floor. Again, working on that right side of the body. This time, have your arms out in line with the hip, in line with the shoulders, sorry, knees raised, feet flat. Take a breath in, exhale, bring both knees down to the left. And again, just breathing. Every exhalation, your knees are sinking. And you're getting that deep stretch to the right side of the body, the right side of the lower back. If you're very tight, going into the whole body, into the chest and into the armpits. And you just relax. And you just let gravity do the work. Inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale, over to the left, to the right. So it's what I found during my practice, during my teachings, it's important to balance out all those strong movements, those resistance movements. So a good resistance movement is that twisting lunge. You are applying resistance to your own body weight to turn and twist, and you combine it with these gentler poses, such as just bringing in the knees to the chest, rolling the knees out to the sides, and just letting the gravity do the work. So those are the few poses I can think of which hopefully will help in managing your hip problems. I hope I was able to give you enough info. I hope you actually start practicing these movements. If you have any questions, please just let me know. And yeah, thank you. All the best for your recovery. I want to see you on the podium Have a good night.